Life will test you. The rude comment that cuts deep. The disappointment you never saw coming. The stress of chasing goals while the world pulls against you. Most people break under this weight, not because they're weak, but because no one ever taught them how to master their emotions. But the Stoics knew. They discovered a way to remain calm when the world tried to shake them. A way to stay grounded when everything around them fell apart. A way to protect their peace in the middle of chaos. And today, we're going to uncover 7 Stoic life lessons. Timeless psychological truths that will teach you how to master your emotions and keep your peace no matter what life throws at you. These lessons aren't theory. They are battle-tested principles that helped Marcus Aurelius lead an empire, Seneca endure exile, and Epictetus rise from slavery to wisdom. If you've ever felt controlled by anger, trapped by anxiety, or broken by stress, this is for you. Because once you learn these 7 lessons, you'll never see your emotions the same way again. 1. You are not your emotions. You are the observer. Most of us grow up believing that our emotions define us. We say things like, I am angry, I am anxious, I am broken. But the truth is, you are not your emotions. You are the observer of them. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." He wasn't saying to ignore your emotions. He was saying, don't confuse them with your identity. Think about a storm. It passes through the sky. It's powerful, violent, sometimes destructive. But no matter how fierce the storm, the sky remains. The storm is temporary. The sky is permanent. Your emotions are storms. You are the sky. This is why the Stoics practiced stepping back, creating space between what they felt and who they were. Epictetus taught that when an emotion arises, don't immediately say, "This is who I am." Instead say, "This is something I'm experiencing." That tiny shift gives you freedom. Take anger, for example. You feel it rise in your chest, burning hot. The average person becomes that anger. They lash out, say something they regret, destroy relationships. But when you realize, I am not anger, I am the one watching anger, suddenly you have a choice. You can let it pass instead of letting it rule you. Or anxiety. You feel it grip your chest before a presentation, a meeting, or a conversation that matters. Most people drown in it. But the Stoic would say, observe it. Recognize it as a natural response of the body, but not the definition of who you are. This perspective isn't just philosophy. Psychologists today call it cognitive distancing, the ability to step outside of your immediate reaction and see it for what it is. The Stoics practiced it thousands of years ago, and it works. Because the moment you realize you are not your emotions, you unlock a kind of freedom most people never experience. You stop being enslaved to the storm. You stop reacting blindly. You start responding with clarity. Remember this. Emotions are visitors. They knock on your door, but you decide whether they stay. You are not your anger. You are not your fear. You are not your sadness. You are the observer, the steady presence behind it all. And when you master this perspective, you master yourself. 2. Control what you can, release what you can't. So much of our suffering doesn't come from what happens to us. It comes from trying to control things we were never meant to control. We stress over how people treat us. We obsess over what they think of us. We lose sleep over outcomes that are outside our hands. But the Stoics taught a radical truth. Peace begins the moment you divide life into 2 categories: what's within your control and what isn't. Epictetus put it plainly. Some things are up to us, and some are not. Your thoughts, your choices, your actions, those belong to you. But the opinions of others, the twists of fate, the past, the future, those were never yours to carry. Think about how much energy you've lost trying to rewrite someone's opinion of you, or replaying a conversation you can't undo, or worrying about a future that hasn't even arrived. It's like trying to command the wind or stop the waves. The harder you fight, the more exhausted you become. Psychology confirms this. Researchers call it the locus of control, the belief about what we can and cannot influence. People who focus on what they can control tend to be more resilient, more disciplined, and more at peace. Those who obsess over the uncontrollable are more anxious, more reactive, and more fragile. Here's a simple example. Imagine you're preparing for an important interview. You can't control whether the interviewer is in a bad mood that day. You can't control who else applies. But you can control your preparation, your effort, and your mindset walking into that room. And that's where your focus should stay. The Stoics lived by this. Marcus Aurelius, facing wars and plagues, wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Notice, he wasn't talking about an easy life. He was talking about clarity. When you stop clinging to what isn't yours to control, you reclaim your energy. You create space for calm. And you start living in alignment with reality instead of fighting against it. So the next time you feel overwhelmed, ask yourself, is this mine to control? If the answer is no, release it. Not with bitterness, but with freedom. Because letting go is not weakness. It is wisdom. The 3. Silence is stronger than reaction. Most people believe power is in the loudest voice, the sharpest comeback, the quickest response. But the Stoics knew the opposite. True strength often lives in silence. Think about the last time someone tried to provoke you. Maybe a co-worker threw a sarcastic comment your way. Maybe a friend disguised an insult as a joke. Or maybe someone online said something cruel just to get a reaction. And you felt it. That rush of emotion. The urge to fire back, to prove them wrong, to defend yourself. But here's the truth. The moment you react on impulse, you've handed them control. You've let their words dictate your peace. Silence, on the other hand, is disarming. It unsettles those who thrive on your reaction. It shows that your emotions are not theirs to control. As Seneca wrote, "It is better to conquer our grief than to deceive it." The same applies to anger, frustration, and every spark that tempts you to explode. Psychologists call this response inhibition, the ability to pause before acting. That pause is power. In silence, you create space. Space to see clearly. Space to decide whether this battle even deserves your energy. And more often than not, it doesn't. Silence doesn't mean weakness. It means restraint. It means you value your peace more than proving a point. It means you know that not every arrow deserves to be caught, and not every fire deserves more fuel. Imagine 2 people in an argument. One is shouting, flailing, desperate to be heard. The other stands calm, quiet, unmoved. Who looks stronger? Who actually has control? Always the one who does not break under pressure. The Stoics practiced this daily. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself every morning, "If someone can prove me wrong, I will change. But if they insult me without reason, I will not be harmed." He knew silence was not avoidance, it was protection. So the next time someone tries to drag you into their chaos, remember, Silence is not surrender. It's mastery. Every time you hold your peace instead of reacting, you reclaim control. And in that quiet, you show the world what real strength looks like. Expect struggles, and you disarm them. Most of us hope life will go smoothly. We expect loyalty from friends, fairness from work, love from family. And when those expectations are broken, when betrayal comes, when loss strikes, when obstacles appear, we're crushed not just by the pain itself, but by the shock that it happened at all. The Stoics took a different approach. They didn't wait to be blindsided. They prepared for it. Seneca called it premeditatio malorum, the premeditation of evils. Each morning, they imagined the challenges they might face: anger from others, delays, setbacks, even death. Not to be pessimistic, but to be realistic. By expecting hardship, they stripped it of its power. Think about it. If you walk into the day expecting everyone to be kind, you'll be broken the first time someone insults you. But if you walk in knowing people may be rude, selfish, or ungrateful, then when it happens, you're calm. You're not surprised, you already accepted it. Modern psychology calls this defensive pessimism, rehearsing possible challenges so you can respond better when they arrive. It's not about living in fear. It's about living prepared. Imagine driving through a storm. If you expected sunny skies, you'll panic. But if you packed a raincoat and knew the clouds were coming, you'll stay calm, steady, unshaken. That's what the Stoics practiced, expecting storms so they never drowned in them. Marcus Aurelius wrote in his journal, "When you wake up, tell yourself, 'Today I will meet interference, ingratitude, arrogance, disloyalty, ill will, and selfishness, but they cannot harm me.'" Notice the power there. He expected the challenge, so he disarmed it before it arrived. And this is the lesson for us. Don't pray for an easy life. Prepare for a hard one. Don't wish the world was fair. Train yourself to remain steady when it's not. Because when adversity comes, and it will, the prepared mind doesn't collapse. It adapts, it endures, it rises above. Detach from praise and criticism alike. Most of us live trapped between two cages, the fear of criticism and the hunger for praise. When people criticize us, we collapse. When they praise us, we rise. But only as long as their applause lasts. And when the clapping stops, we crash again. The Stoics saw this as a dangerous way to live, because it meant your peace, your confidence, your sense of self was always in someone else's hands. Seneca wrote, "The man who seeks approval from others is a slave." He wasn't saying we should ignore feedback. He was saying, don't let your worth rise and fall on the unstable tide of public opinion. Think about it. You do something good at work, and the praise lifts you up. But the moment someone criticizes you, your whole world shatters. Or maybe you post something online, and you feel amazing when the likes roll in. But you feel empty when they don't. That's not freedom. That's dependence. Psychologists call this external validation dependence, the constant need for approval to feel secure. It's exhausting, and it robs you of peace. The Stoics knew that true strength comes when your foundation is inward, not outward. Here's the lesson. If you attach your self-worth to praise, you'll also attach it to criticism. Both become chains. But when you detach, when you root your peace in discipline, values, and clarity, neither praise nor criticism can move you. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself often, don't value yourself based on what others think. He knew that applause fades, insults fade, but the truth of who you are remains. So the next time someone praises you, accept it with gratitude, but don't cling to it. And when someone criticizes you unfairly, observe it, but don't internalize it, because neither defines you. Your worth is not in their words. It's in your actions. It's in the discipline you keep when no one is watching. And that is freedom. Freedom from being owned by other people's voices. Discipline beats impulse every time most people live as slaves. Not to another person, but to their own impulses. The urge to lash out, the temptation to scroll for hours, the desire to give in to comfort when they should be building strength. The Stoics warned about this centuries ago. Freedom doesn't come from doing whatever you feel like. True freedom comes from mastering yourself. Epictetus wrote, "No man is free who is not master of himself." And modern psychology agrees. Self-control is one of the strongest predictors of long-term success and happiness. Those who can delay gratification, those who can choose discipline over impulse, almost always live stronger, calmer lives. Think about it. Anger is an impulse. Discipline is taking a breath before you respond. Spending recklessly is an impulse. Discipline is saving today so you can build tomorrow. Avoiding hard work is an impulse. Discipline is showing up even when you don't feel like it. The Stoics trained themselves daily for this. Marcus Aurelius forced himself to rise early, writing in his journal, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I am rising to do the work of a human being.'" He knew impulse says, "Stay comfortable," but discipline says, "Get up and live with purpose." Every time you choose discipline over impulse, you strengthen the muscle of resilience. You make yourself harder to break, harder to shake, harder to manipulate. Because here's the truth. Your emotions may flare, your impulses may shout, but you don't have to obey them. You can choose a higher path. And that choice, repeated over and over, is what builds unshakable character. So the next time you feel the pull of impulse, pause. Ask yourself, will this make me stronger or weaker? Then choose the path of discipline, because impulse will give you comfort for a moment. Discipline will give you freedom for a lifetime. 7. Stillness is strength. In today's world, noise is constant. Opinions, arguments, distractions, pulling at you from every direction. Most people are swept away in it, restless, anxious, never able to stop moving. But the Stoics knew something most people still don't understand. Stillness is not weakness, it's strength. Marcus Aurelius would often retreat into silence, writing, "Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul." He wasn't escaping the world, he was mastering it. Because when you learn to be still, you gain power over yourself. Stillness means the ability to pause before reacting. Stillness means choosing clarity over chaos. Stillness means finding peace within, even when the world outside is burning. Think about the strongest leaders you've known. They're not the ones who panic at every challenge or overreact to every insult. They're the ones who remain calm, deliberate, steady. Their silence commands more respect than another person's shouting ever could. Psychologists today call this emotional regulation, the ability to stay composed under pressure. It's what separates those who crumble in chaos from those who thrive in it. And the Stoics practiced it daily, through journaling, meditation, reflection, even slow, mindful walks. These weren't escapes, they were training grounds for strength. Stillness doesn't mean doing nothing. It means mastering the space between impulse and action. It means choosing your response, not being dragged by emotion. So when the world feels overwhelming, when people try to provoke you, when your own mind runs wild, remember this: you are strongest when you can stand still. unmoved, anchored in your own peace. Because storms will pass, noise will fade, but the one who has mastered stillness cannot be shaken. So there you have it. 7 Stoic life lessons that can transform the way you face the world. You are not your emotions, you are the observer. Control what you can, release what you can't. Silence is stronger than reaction. Expect struggles, and you disarm it. Detach from praise and criticism alike. Discipline beats impulse every time. And above all, stillness is strength. Each one of these truths is simple, but not easy. They require practice, they require training, they require a daily commitment to stop being ruled by impulse and to start living with clarity. The Stoics didn't promise a painless life. What they promised was freedom, the kind that comes when nothing outside of you can shake what is inside you. Now, let me ask you, which of these 7 lessons spoke to you the most today? Which one do you feel you need to work on in your own life? Share your thoughts in the comments, not just for me, but for others who are walking the same path. And if this message resonated with you, make sure to like this video, subscribe for more Stoic wisdom, and share it with someone who needs these lessons right now. Because in the end, life will test you. But with discipline, clarity, and stillness, you'll find a way to rise above it all.